Hello, peeps. Ho, ho, ho. We're back to game making. We're making this game. I think the general feel is that the game is a little bit slow. Like it feels like running through syrup. Now things are getting really expensive. Like have to do double sacrifice to afford anything? That doesn't feel good. Can't afford that. So I could sell something, I guess. But I won't. And again, the enemies kind of hit you in ways where you don't kind of feel like they are doing anything. Again. again. Yeah, we need to look at how the enemies attack you. They should kind of stop, jump, and yeah, in some way like telegraph that they're gonna attack. But let's see where we ended up, what we did yesterday. So we redid the whole spell system. So now every spell is made up of different things. So let's take a look at the spells. So the dash, for example, part of this like composed spell system where there's a spell, composed spell, which is combining different things. So dash spell is like a during the event, and then we have charges, which really comes before that, I guess, which recharges and does all that stuff. And then the dash spell in turn kind of does what the spell does. Nova has similar thing where the charges kind of define how much you can, how often and how many times you can do this without incurring a reload. I think like the rail should feel more significantly different to the pew pew. So maybe it does more damage, but it's slower. So I have these, and it does like 50. I gotta check what the enemy healths are. So the chunky ones are like these eyeball things that jump around. They have 250 health, so that's like 5 shots with the first one. That should be like 3 shots, I think. And the normal enemies, these guys, should be maybe one-shotted by the rail, I feel like. That means I gotta set the default rail to be like 100. The second rail 150. The third rail like 250. Then the rail, we have 3 charges by default. I think it should be like 1, 2, and 3. And then it should take 2 seconds to recharge. Maybe 1 second. I don't know. Let's try it out. This feels a little bit more like a railgun, especially if I added some like screen shake to it. So we just do like camera shake, instance shake, and then we add a public float shake amount, set that to 0.5 by default. Yep. Ah. Cheers, peeps. Rail. We combine it with the Nova? Yeah, sure. Shot. 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 Oh, I missed. Oh. That still takes like 3 shots. Okay. I think we need to rethink the whole economy. I overextended. Now this is a lot faster. That makes a difference. I also think we shouldn't be like optimizing too much at this point. We should be like adding a lot more content now and then have more of a broad view on like how to well, it's pretty good. And then sacrifice once and dash. Yeah, this feels pretty pretty nice actually. So not really using this one is a good combination with this. So 200, this costs 0 to re coin pull could be a good one. Sacrifice once and get like another upgrade for the bouncy. Bounces twice instead. Oh wait, I have 0 screen shake on. That's why it feels a little bit dull. Yeah. Cool. So what do we do? Let's go another bouncy. Didn't I upgrade dash to 2 charges? Why do I suck so much? We need a better shadow system too. Cooldown speed isn't... No! God damn it, I suck with the ray. No, absolutely not. Rail 2. Dangerous, but let's do it. Just for the lulz. Come on. Yeah, it feels like it's so hard to get away from the enemies, and they do more damage than you can kind of manage. The question is like, how do we slow down the enemies a little bit? Let's bring it down to like 6 instead of this, and 3, and then the chunky ones still slower. That's pretty good. And then the flyers could be still fast. Yeah. Let's try that. So I think I would hit that, but it's the 3D perspective that kind of screws with your sense of... Let's see here, bouncy. Ställ ut eller? I effectively like tripled the damage for my rail gun, but it still feels like it doesn't feel overpowered, which is weird. I want to get the dash, and then I want to get something. Cool down, yes. I'm forgetting that I have the I think the eyeball enemies should be actually like shooting at you. Larger Blizzard, yeah, I could do that, and then see if it's worth it to sacrifice for something here. Another layer of bouncy could be interesting. have crit damage. So if I pick heal on crit, I could go for like no! Damn it. Okay. So I think it's interesting that you can change the rail to do so much more damage. I guess it doesn't. We actually sort of nerfed the damage now that I think of it. It used to be 50 and you could click 3 times, but now it's like click once and it's 100. So I guess it's actually a nerf. Let's try playing with the Pew Pew again and just see how it goes. And then like heal on crit is like so much better with this weapon because you got a chance to crit every shot. Movement speed, a really cheap upgrade, and pierce. Let's go. That didn't work out. So I think this week is gonna be mostly like replacing some of the really hacky systems with a little bit more robust ones. I would like to have the new Unity input system, for example. That would be nice. So I don't have to like... when I do controller stuff, I don't have to guess what the buttons or numbers are. So that's one, and then no touch damage on enemies. They should like do actual attacks. Let's actually look at that. I think we have like test enemy or something. Chaser enemy. Why are they appearing twice? Strange. This one just moves towards the player. And yeah, I guess we're gonna check out enemy, and then I guess there is some kind of... oh, they have a... they have this touch damage thing in here. Let's delete that. How about the flyer? Does that... yeah, that turns it up for them too. And then the chunky enemy has also inherits from there, so touch damage is now disabled. So let's take the chaser enemy and change its logic a little bit. Also, hi Mind Rage, what's up? Change my theme a little bit. Ouch! This one. So we want to have like attack radius. Let's keep it at 5. It's roughly the right. And then we're gonna have like attack force. So yeah, let's go. We move towards this and then have a bunch of things here. So what we can do is before delta here, we can say like if delta magnitude is less than or equal to the attack radius, we want to enter this attack state, which is like yield return new wait for seconds. Let's say we have a 0.5 second wind up, and then we do the attack. So actually let's do 2.5 and then we calculate the new delta after that, and then we wait for a little bit more, and then we just do a move towards the direction of the player for some duration. Which is something like 0.5 seconds. So we need a... And then afterwards we wait for half a second or something. So this is where we do the move, and this is where we would have to do the... we'll have to do the actual damage doing and maybe spawning some kind of slash effect. So do that, and then we can also do like the move. It should be like attack speed, I guess, and it should be something like 15, so it should be really fast. Maybe more 10 than 15, but let's start somewhere. So now we got a move, and we got some code for moving here. We have to figure this one out. And this is just delta normalized times attack speed. So now the enemies will follow you until they're close enough, and then they will like stop and then attack. Okay, so I forgot one quite important part: to multiply by time.delta time. There is a little bit of a problem with the way I've got it set up. So it's kind of I don't move my things with force. I just move the character controller. So if they had some kind of physics movement, it would be much easier to do a couple of things. For example, to do pushback when you're hitting them, which is something I also want to do really soon here. So I wonder if I want to switch this character controller.move into something else, or if I want to add a consistent force that I can move with the character controller. I'm kind of leaning towards that it would be nice to have actual physics. It wouldn't be that hard to do. Huh? Why? Null ref? Ah. We don't have damage sphere in there anymore. I can fix this by adding a question mark here. Oh, Pine. Yeah, like I'm tempted to just not use the character controller here and instead use a rigid body and a sphere collider. Let's offset the sphere collider like this. 0.5. That looks roughly right, I think. Yeah, that's probably right. And then chunky. Yeah, it looks about right. Yeah. We'll have to scale the collider here. Maybe we don't have to. If we actually scale this, it will follow. So that should work. So now we don't have a character controller anymore. Instead, we have this, which means our speeds are going to be a little bit harder to work with, because now the speed is going to be a force instead. And we're going to have some kind of a it's called rigid body. Yeah, sure. Or body. I've been using both naming conventions. While having insane attack speed, the bullets converge together instead of having the 3 wide spread of bullets. Okay. I don't know what that means. It's like the spread went from this to this. Strange. instead of character control.move, we gotta accelerate our things, and I would guess 150 is a good start. I got a piercing upgrade, so I guess we already have sort of that mind rage. I don't know if this will work out. The math is not the same. Should be like this divided by delta time or something. Probably. Oh, something like in the 2025 range, I think. Doom. Yes, bosses. I want to do bosses. We'll see. We'll see if how fast we progress here. I don't know. We always come up with this where we ask, should we multiply by fixed delta time here? Let's go to the normal enemy. Let's set up some things. Oh, we got error. Is this not what you do? Oh, I can't do that if it's okay. Oh, sound. You want Kebab sauce on your kebabs, of course. Oh, Monglo! What's up? Let's see if the enemies move at all. Okay, they are moving. And we forgot a couple of things, like... oh, look! They already look more like... Okay. They do move roughly like they should, but there is a problem. And that problem is that they are not locked... their rigid body isn't locking the rotations, which we should be doing. I would have guessed that we should have like 5 drag. That might still be the case. So, which means that this acceleration here is way too low. I think maybe 500 on these as a default. Let's see what it feels like when you go. Okay, so now they don't move at all when I think Unity, should you multiply with time fixed delta time in add force? Don't multiply. Add force already applies the force during a single physics cycle. Its default mode force. That's multiplying by delta will actually result in a force 50 times smaller. Yeah. There is the force mode acceleration here. I don't know what the difference between force mode force and force mode acceleration is. What was the most convoluted ever? Could they not have a description of what? Oh, here. As a continuous force using its mass. As a ignoring its mass. Okay. Ignoring using. So I guess acceleration is not too bad. But why was it so... The values feels like they... This force here is acceleration. Yeah, this shouldn't be in there. One would think, like, after a million years that I would... Oh, wow. I think that's a little bit high. I think 150 was pretty good. And then attack radius could be slightly smaller, like 4. See how that feels. What does that even mean in terms of actual units? The attack rate should be smaller. The attack force is probably okay, but I want to have a much shorter period of time. And the normal speed is really way too high. I think maybe 50 would be good. $50 is a little bit too low. So when are they gonna attack that range? Okay, good. That's pretty good. We need to divide this force magnitude by time dot fixed delta time or something. We need to divide this first. I don't think it matters actually. That's fine. Slightly higher, like maybe actually the value becomes 100 because of the way accelerations multiply. No, 100 is too high, I think. And they really do a lot of what this should be is the difference in position since the last frame, sort of. Which means we can actually move this to an update method. So enemy already has an update method, I think. Does not. Good. And then we can just remember the last position, like vector3 last position equals 0.5 f. No, wait. Last position. Do this, and then the delta var delta is transform.position minus last position. Then we can do, instead of force magnitude times this, we can just say we want to add to frame delta.magnitude with some multiplier on it. So we want to move, and we want to also divide it by time dot delta time. This should give us, we should probably move this to something else, but that's fine. So if we move 1 unit over 1 second, we do 1 frame movement. That is too little. So I think something like 5 maybe. The faster we move, the more we'll get there, and then that's probably okay, and then that's fine. This means it will also work in here. Hello, Margus, by the way. Missed your message. That 5 is too high, but it's not as high as things were before. And we also want to add like 1.5. Well, it should be like plus. Let's just keep it like that, and then add time delta time to it times 3. It just feels like magic numbers all the way down. But it'll be good. Let's get Arcane Bolt. Still too fast? How is it possible? Because this is a... Should it be like this? That's more like it. Oj. Hej, vad gör du? Har du sprungit? Vad är Malmstad?
Jag har pratat med.
Granne. Okej. Han är hos mig.
En gång vill jag ju också spela kråkan. En gång vill jag det.
Mm. Det kan du få göra. Någon gång. Men nu jobbar jag.
Jag kanske efter jobbet kanske.
Ja. Inte vad jag har hört. That was a lot closer to what I was expecting. It's still a little bit slow. Okay, so now we can do another little trick here that always feels pretty good. They don't deal any damage right now. But yeah, the other little trick is to add a little bit of an impulse instead, and do like negative impulse attack force times 10 or something. No, it's an impulse, so it should be less. Let's do guess some numbers. This will make it like come in and then push back a little bit, so it looks like it's ready to jump at you. I've done this like a million times if you follow the stream. Okay, that's a little bit too much. Just guess a number. Oh, Lawrence. Lawrence of Arabia. A little bit too small. It could be that it should be like a velocity change instead of the impulse. Lawrence of Asclepia, yeah. So the shadows aren't working at all. That's something we gotta fix somehow. And I don't know exactly how we'll do it. So we have this square here, which is the shadow, which used to have a thing that updated its position to, I think it's still in the project shadow. Oh, what's this shadow? What's that? Oh, it's not to this kind of thing. Ground shadow. This used to work. I think it might still work. I just removed it because it, yeah, that still works. Oh, it sort of works. The big ones, the shadow kind of. But I removed it for performance reasons. It seems to work now. Hello, Ladka. Yep. Back to robes. What if we did... So we got this sprite sheet 12 here. We did this and then updated that with our chaser enemies. We got like a sprite render shadow here, and we set the same sprite to that. Will that look good? What do you think? Pretty good. We got some flickering on sea fighting on the big ones, and I bet it's due to some stuff, but it kind of works and it kind of doesn't. And for some reason this one gets stuck down here. Okay. It looks weird, not gonna lie, especially on this guy. I would like to have a little bit more like on the bottom. But I think I screwed up the sphere collider here when I moved it less up. Where's this positioned? Okay. If it was the exact same size, and then I bring in some kind of shadow here. This thing. That's weird. Now we don't see the... Oh, we do. Just not that prominent. I'm annoyed by the cadence, like this cadence, like stop and then dup, 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 dup. Yeah, there's a few blur. No, there's one shooter, I guess. But I plan on adding some more. I don't think that kind of works. It doesn't feel good that the pew pew does that. So I could just remove the charges from the arcane bolt. Can I just disable them? Then it doesn't work for some reason. What is this? Object reference, cost charges, 7. It's because it's there, but it doesn't. Let's try without it. Now I don't have the charges. That actually worked better than I expected it to. Okay, nice. The yeah, let's make let's have a little helper class here, and I think I'm gonna copy it from something else. I don't remember what. I think it's called like coroutine utils or something. Let's see if I have coroutine utils. .cs. I hate the Windows search. It's so bad. I think I have it in like the Boomerang game, but I'm not sure. There it is. So this one gives us a an IEnumerator thing that does things over a set number of a set duration every frame, and then you could do fixed update or not. Which means we can do some stuff. Hey, Spires, have a good lunch. Thank you for the raid. So instead of doing this, like wait for seconds and like doing this start, we can do coroutine utils. Oh, I guess we gotta go into Unity to compile first. So we just yield return coroutine utils dot duration fixed update, and then we give it a duration. We want to have like attack duration, and then we'll do our function, which will take like dt, I think is the delta time, and then we should return true, and I never remember which one is the one, but we should return false. We should return true if we want to break, which we don't want to. And then we can do stuff in here like add force. So we don't have to rewrite that whole like start blah 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 thing every frame, which makes it super easy to kind of do this instead of Do we need to wait there? No, we don't. We will add an acceleration in like negative. We do like. Let's do like negative move force or acceleration instead, and then we can remove this. This should be like 0.25. Here we just wait. Do we want to do that? I'm not sure. Let's see if this makes it look a little bit more like organic in terms of wow. I have to shoot a lot to get rid of these guys. It's like the enemies are kind of going through the floor, are they? Like I can't see the bottom pixel of the Now these can't hurt me, for one. And apparently I don't collide with them, which is weird. Thought I would, and now like, am I pushed up now? Is that the case? That I'm like on, or are they? Yeah, look at me. I'm up on the wall here. So I can't really. That was weird. Okay. So the player needs to make sure. We need to make sure that the player doesn't. So I wonder what happens if I have both the rigid body and the curtain controller. But if I put this on to is kinematic and then I freeze position in Y, it shouldn't do that, I think. Yeah, I think I use the walls as ramps. Now I shouldn't be able to do that, at least. But why are the enemies like through the floor? That's weird, isn't it? Also, no spray. Take a look at the enemies. I have this basic enemy, which apparently I lose all the time. There we go. So the body here is at 0. The enemy is at 0, and then I just don't understand why. Why I don't see the bottom, like a couple of pixels, it looks like. Oh, cable noise? 1 second. How about now? Is it better? I bet it is that this ground shadow is pushing things up by quite a bit. Yeah, let's take 10th of that. And now we can't see the shadows instead. But it's still like missing part of. Let's take a look at the actual enemies here. Where are the enemies? Arena. Enemy. Here we go. It's definitely the floor that's too high. The model is raised by 1 pixel. Why is it doing that? Should be here instead. 0. There we go. Shadows. And we see the lower jaw of the enemies. I think they are a little bit too fast. And when I hit an enemy, I think it should be like pushed back a little bit. So let's look at projectile. And we should have like a pushback value here. Which we'll set to, let's say we do 10. So whenever we hit something, we will do damage to the hitbox. Unless we're piercing. If we're piercing, we actually want to do it. Yeah, we probably want to do it then too. So apply push back. So now we can do like hitbox, get component, rigid body, var rigid body equals that. If rigid body not equals null, rigid body dot add force transform dot forward times pushback. That would be an impulse, I guess. So we're adding 10 here. That's too high. 3 maybe? Don't seem to be affected at all by that. So check our projectiles. Player projectile. Pushback 50, maybe. That's a little bit too much. Let's try 20 maybe. That's better. Now we gotta make the enemies do damage again. we kind of forgot about. Seems like we're having an extra shadow on the... Okay. Potentially it's a little bit high still. Let's do 15 and then be done with it. Okay, so how do we do damage? We spawn something that looks like a damage effect. And I want to do like a melee attack. I want to do like a melee attack thing for the player too. So maybe we should just like animate some kind of thing that's doing that, sort of. Wow, thank you for that, Photoshop. That's a really good, like... yeah, that's great. I hope those are saved. Let's save it here for now so we can close and reopen Photoshop. Damn it, wrong image. Sorry, I'm being dumb. There we go. Probably want some kind of slash sprite here. Let's start with some size that we're 32 seems small. It's like 45 or something. And then if we were using oh wait. Come in. Den var ju fin. Har du gjort den? Spänner ni? Eller?
Gammal elförälder tecken.
Aha. Thinking of these as like claws. The DPI. DPI doesn't really apply for pixel art. Like DPI is what? Yeah. I can tell you the resolution I'm working at. So each tile in my game, like, or we can compare it to the actual character. It's 13 by 20 pixels, roughly, or 12 by 20 pixels. Each like little square in the ground is 16 pixels, and that's the unit that I use in Unity 2. To kind of, you know, keep a consistent size of stuff. I want this to roughly look like a claw, like. I guess that's gonna look a little bit crooked. Let's do it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like the pixels are the pixels. When you're talking about DPI, you're talking about how many pixels there are in 1 inch. So if you were printing something, you would have to make it not look like blotchy or blobby or pixely. You would want to have something like 300 DPI. It's a common value for print DPI. When it comes to computers and screens, yes, like you do have something that is DPI on the screen. Like my monitor has a certain resolution and it has a certain size. So if you take that resolution and divide it by the size of the monitor, you will get how many DPI it has. But it's not really applicable to to pixel art in games, like in that kind of fashion. So yeah, you can calculate a DPI, but it doesn't quite apply. DPI stands for dots per inch, and it's just different ways of saying the same thing. Now, it would be nice if this one had like multiple frames that I can fade it out over time. Just delete some of the end parts here and maybe turn some of the white into not white anymore. Thinking like 3 frames or something along those lines. Let's see if I have to add more frames to this. It's getting a little bit crowded inside of this sheet here. Pretty good, or good enough. Go to Unity, go to my texture sheet here, a sprite sheet. Let's create our little thing. Make sure this should be roughly centered, so that when I rotate around this, it's gonna look good. A little bit more space around. That's about right. And then we know we haven't moved it. Something like this. Yep. This is like /1 /2 and /3. There's a bit of a problem there because we probably want this to be colored in different ways. So now we can do this and it will look roughly like a slash. We can animate this. Prefabs, effects, animations, and then we have our slash. Create a slash animation. So you want to go from, I'm saying like it should spawn in like here and then go really quickly to here and then a little bit slowly to a little bit longer. So it's like, oh, that was not this time scale I was looking at. And then during the last parts of those frames, we will change the frame of the graphic. Oh, we're also rotating the wrong object, I think. Yes. Damn it. Should be rotating this. Re-enable this. Start over here. Go all the way here and then not a second, but maybe here. Move slightly slower. It's not terrible, but it should be faster. And I wonder if we started at, I wonder if we can go forward and back, but I think we can't. So let's start here and just not quite correct. That's pretty close, but it feels like it should maybe restart earlier. Apparently I don't have that thing, but I need to have a quick wee. Be right back. Oops. Are we having crispy better now, I think. Okay, so now we want a thing that can damage. To create an empty, we need a collider. Sphere collider is pretty good, I think. This is gonna be a trigger, and we're gonna have a damage sphere. Oh wait, the damage sphere doesn't need a collider, does it? No. Oh, also we want to destroy this object, or rather make it a like effect base, I think. Yes. When we have an effect base, we can despawn it. So now we can actually make this pool object. I jumped out! Damn it. Wow, I'm really weirdly overblown in the cam. Oh well. Just Coke. Coke Zero. Cool, and then it will despawn here. And actually, let's also like turn off the damage sphere there. Oh wait, turn off the damage sphere like that. It's like is this the enemies slash? It would be nice if it... yeah. Only had a small amount of that. No beer at 11 in the morning. I love to drink more beer, but I'm also trying to lose weight, so it's not the best. So we have object pools here. We're gonna add another pool for like enemy slash. Gonna call this enemy slash. Particles. Sure. Why not? Need to be moved out here, of course. They are the wrong color. Something to the shape here where that's a little bit much. That'll look pretty good, I think. Cool. So I think we can just drop this in there and then this will work. So now let's put this enemy slash in. Is it in enemies? Enemy damage. Just move some things around here so it's making more sense. That's good. So now we can create our enemy slash pool, effect pool. It's like enemy slash. And the desired count is like 30 or something. It's not going to be that many. 32 to be a power up 2 guy. Okay, so now object pools. To make it easy to instantiate these, we're going to add another one. It's just going to be enemy slash. Oh, there's a problem. Maybe the effect pool is not the right type of pool, because effect base doesn't have a reference to a damage source, does it? Projectiles have a specific one. Okay, let's actually have a damage source. Let's think about this. So this is like a projectile pool script, which object pool. Well, yeah. So the slash has its. Can I add a damage source here? Can actually do that. Yeah, that's good. And then the damage here can have itself as the parent. Yes. And then we create a damage source pool. This is just so I don't have to get component and do shit when we're there. So this is what we want in here. Damage source. Oh. So I use object pooling to reduce the amount of like memory allocations and stuff. During runtime, so I instantiate a lot of like projectiles and stuff before I start each run, and then I reuse old ones instead of creating new ones, destroying and so on. That reduces the pressure on the. Did I rename the wrong one, or why are you angry? I pool object. I see. How do I actually implement this one? This way. Except it should be damage source. We don't need to do anything here. These are just the pooling stuff. So this should now work, I think, unless... Yes. That should now work. Make sure all the overrides are set. Cool. And then enemy slash has the effect pool here. It should not be. Let's remove this component and say damage source pool. And then we get this, and then we do 32 in there. It's pretty good. And then our object pools needs to have this enemy slash referenced. Cool. And now we can go and create this. So the chaser enemy, normally you would like have some kind of thing here to reference which one we wanna add. But we don't really need that. So after this is done, we just spawn a thing. So object pool manager dot instance dot enemy slash dot instantiate how do we do this? Spawn? Yeah. So we want to do like transform dot position quaternion dot look rotation by transform dot forward. And then the parent, we could put it as a parent of ourselves, but maybe we should. So this will spawn the thing. See if it works. We also probably want to have a scale to this. I think the damage sphere should scale to with the radius. But it doesn't currently. Or the radius should scale with the the global scale. But that's a later issue, I guess. Because we want to have a scale to this. Probably the small enemies should have a shorter reach than the big ones. Let's see if we can get attacked by enemies here. That didn't work. I forgot to remove something. Oh. What is this thing that's base projectile pool? Huh. Okay. Ow! They're doing it. I don't think the objects are removed properly, for sure. But let's see if we can fix that. So there's something in the animation that we forgot about, like this despawn here. Some functions were overloaded in the mono behavior components and may not work as intended. We have multiple. This is like the effect base, and then this is a pool object that has to spawn on it, and then we have the damage source, which is also a pool object with these things on it. So we could inherit from effect base. Let's try that, because that should well, it should mean that these hides inherited. But I think this one... Nah. Let's not do that. Instead, let's have a animation despawn. That calls despawn. How do I make sure I don't call the overrid? Well, it doesn't matter. We can just do this. Then there's the problem of, so we stop the particle system, and then on particle system stopped, we do this. But the particle system is a child, so that doesn't work. Right. So the particles are down here, and we want to despawn this when the particles are not emitting anymore. And we do that with a callback. So we gotta create like a proxy thing that calls the despawn. Or if we could hook on an event on the particles. I'm not sure if there is one though, because we have an initialize function here that will be called once, and then we have particle system, and then do that like on Or do we have add listener or something? Like I have the sneaking suspicion that that doesn't exist, but we can get one. Let's call this like effects particle system destroy relay, and then we will like have on enable. We'll have a function, so public or an event, public event system dot action. Doesn't, yeah, it should have particle system on it, and it should have the name on or destroyed or something, and then we hook. We actually don't need the unenable, do we? We just do like this particle system stopped thing. I think that's the only thing we need. We put this on the particle system, and then we trigger destroyed invoke this. So now effect base can have reference to the particle system, but also a public particle system. Kind of don't want to do a lot of this in the same. We could just refer to an effect base in here instead of having the oh, it should be stopped. Like this. But with a question mark in there. So we have two ways of getting at this. Let's see if this works. So we add the relay here. If we didn't have console or particles, try again. Relay. No, still errors. Oh, we don't have the particle system on this. Okay. Wouldn't this... Oh, we can also do this. Stop action, callback. No. Well, I guess we're never gonna know which which particle system was the stopping one. Do we care to do like on enable? Feels like it could be slow, and we don't really need it at this point. So let's remove this part here. We only need the action part, and then we can do this. We actually don't need the event either, so let's just do this. Let's try to keep things as slim as possible. So this now refers to the effect base. Let's see. Boom. Now it doesn't seem particularly interested in getting destroyed, so that's a thing, I guess. Why doesn't it? So I would guess that this happens. It does happen, but it doesn't get despawned afterwards. So effect base is a reference. This will be called, and then if pool not equals null, pool despawn this. So pool could be null. Yeah, and I understand why actually. So we have a reference on the effect base to the pool, but that's not the pool that spawned this game object. It's spawning the damage the damage source. It is that, but that's useful to see where it is. So we're gonna run animation despawn. Did we change our thing to that? Maybe that's the problem. That's still despawn. So animation despawn. That should call despawn on this object, and then we'll say particle system stop, and then let's put this in like the damage source, so we can call this function from this thing to public damage source, and we do the same here, but with damage source. So we have two ways of doing it, and now yeah, I understand why this didn't work. This now should not refer to effect base, it should effectively use the damage source. Okay, cane bolt, go. So it looks like it happens twice. Good. Now we just turn off the rotation on the or rotation, the looping on that, and then I think shit will work. Yeah, I think that will work. It would have been nice if this was living on this object instead. That would reduce a few issues. I think it should do like 25 damage or something, and then I saw another issue where it didn't rotate in the right direction. So this should be in the direction of delta normalized rather than the forward, because we're not really rotating these objects. There we go. Okay, so now it should be like come and then poof. Seems to be working, right? Except it's not really doing any damage. Are we again? Yeah, we're on top of shit mountain now. Okay, so let's take a look at player. For some reason, we're not sticking to the ground. Just do this and see what happens, if that helps. Okay, at least I can die now. Everything feels a little less dangerous now. That pullback should be shorter. Let's say like pullback. Let's make it half as long, but faster. Maybe not. Maybe not. And then it waits a little bit shorter. And then it does the attack, which takes some time, and then it slashes, which takes some time, and then it waits, which takes some time. Let's see. I got me. It does feel a lot more dynamic, the movement of the enemies now, because they have some acceleration to them. But I gotta say, maybe it's easier now too, which is not entirely a bad thing, because it was quite hard for a while there. That takes a lot of shots to kill. Now also, these guys get very neutered by me being able to push them back with my shots now. I wonder if we should have like a resistance to push back somehow. That builds up. So they kind of learn to... So I want to see how this scales. $274. Do I dare? Shoot pretty quickly, and I should do pretty... I want to have a heal on crit happen a lot here. But it hasn't happened at all yet. Game plays very differently with... Okay, I don't have any crit chance, it seems. Is that crit chance really nothing? It's supposed to be 5%. I think the shot pushbacks... Let's take a look at Chaser Enemy. What happens when I get stunned? Nothing. I don't take care of that at all. Okay. So how can we make this pushback scale better? So we have the pushback here. Let's bring it down quite a bit and see how it affects things. Now it's sort of only slowing them down a tiny bit. And it feels like it's reducing the impact quite a bit. So let's raise it up slightly, like to 8 or something. That's about right. That's about right. Now you can still feel that they... Oh. I want to have like 5 bosses in the game, but it's likely that maybe there'll be 1, or I'll add at some later part. I want to have Blizzard, but that's 150, so okay, this is really dangerous. That didn't pan out. So now also the Blizzard doesn't quite slow down the enemies as much as it used to. or at all, potentially. I'm not sure. It's like damage, does damage to them and they don't really stop at damage, so we need to scale their movement speed somehow. And I'm thinking to add a frost, fire, or like a temperature gauge on each enemy. So anything that has a temperature gauge that gets damaged by something that's like frost would increase its well, it would decrease its temperature. And then there are two thresholds. One is cold, which is make it move slowly, and one is frozen, or chilled and frozen or something. And then at frozen, they're completely frozen and have some kind of graphic on top of them. Hi, Victor. But okay, I think the enemies, like, they're accelerating a long time. So they have, let's do 85 acceleration on the normal ones. The chunky ones, let's do 50, so they're slower. And then the just make them slightly different. The flyer enemies, they can have 100 acceleration. Something like that, yes. About right. Fix that shadow on that guy too. It's weirdly scaled. I don't seem to get a lot of crits. This is so dangerous. Wow, that one is really slow now. Ah! Slamming me. Okay, so now we don't have a good way of controlling the damage done by these slashes from where they're spawned. So one idea I have would be to have some kind of stack of damage on like the root damage source. Or we could have reference to the enemy. That wouldn't work. But so we could scale the damage of that in some reasonable way. Currently, we know how this object looks, so we could just set the damage and scale of this object somehow. So we could like set public float melee damage is 25, and then we reduce it for some of them. And melee scale, for example. Let's set this to 1. Sure. And then we can do like /get component in children, and then we pass along like damage radius or damage sphere it's called. ds.damage is, oh, we also don't set the parent, so /.damage parent equals this. Think that will work? Yeah. Then we set damage to melee damage, and then we set like /transform.scale. We can do local scale equals vector31 multiplied by melee radius or melee scale. And then we have this set up like spawn slash yeah. And then we just got to go in and like modify the enemies to do less damage. So flyer, what kind of, it should be like half the scale, and then melee damage should be like 10 on these, and the other ones could be like, the chunky could be like 1.5 scale or something and do 30. Or maybe this one does 25 and the normal one does like 15. See how that feels? Yeah, those ones now do. We also need to increase the movement speed a little bit on one of those. Ow. Intellectualize and virtualize. If these also shot, we wouldn't have that big of a problem with the movement speed of them. Maybe we should do that and just add functionality to the chaser to shoot, or do we add another, like, tell them that they can shoot or something? Hey, we got an error there. What was that? Chaser 65. We turn off the damage sphere in the animator. So that's why we can't find it. Let's do. The simple solution is to just not turn it off and have it. Yeah, let's just have it do a lot of damage to the player all the time. Play with rail for a second. Also think it would be nice if the slashers actually follow the enemies, because it looks like it's they're outrunning that. So let's add them to the parent of transform here. That should work. The lifespan is also too long now. You can adjust that easily in this. So we just move this back, and move this back. Maybe just a little more. Yeah, it's too long. Sticks long for like forever. Also, this will stick around until the particles are done? Or does this actually do the despawn? We can also add another thing to the damage, I realize. We could just say public bool do damage is true, and then and do damage. And then we get around that issue we had where we, yeah. Also, if we're smart, we also do the, if not, do damage. Turn. Now we can actually animate, but maybe we start here to do damage. Here we say do not do damage. Here we say do not do damage. So it's like do not. That should look better, I think. It looks weird. Trying to line them up to do another. We definitely do dash, and then we go second spell Blizzard. Blizzard is a lot worse now that it doesn't slow enemies, so we need to fix that quickly. Because now it's like... and those move so slowly. More movement speed. Double rail and then sacrifice and then get nothing. That was stupid. Back off. Give me the money. Triple rail. Yes. I haven't seen a single crit, have you? Did I break that? That was a crit, I think. Crit chance is too low. This should be like crit chance 4%. It says bounces 1, 2, 4. Did I screw something up there maybe? Because it doesn't bounce. I think like this weapon needs a higher crit chance than the pew pew just because of the number of potential hits is much lower. Now we got like 3 of those. Do we want this? Do we want to buy next level blizzard? Yeah, let's do it. Reroll and 1 sacrifice should give us haste on kill maybe. Whoa. The rail should also be like pushing enemies back, I think. That'll make it feel more impactful. Let's try that. So there's only 2 places we do this kind of pushback now, but I think we should probably add some kind of way of doing it. So I think 15 could be a good one, and then we check the projectiles, not spell, projectile. We do this. After we do damage, we apply the pushback. Should work. Let's see. Per hit is crit. Per damage dealt. Now these die in 1 hit, so we don't see the pushback, unfortunately. Yeah, all of them do apparently. Rail level 2. Let's do Nova and no more. Kind of fun to line up enemies to kill them in one hit. Wonder if there's a good way of incentivizing that, like give you more currency or something. Do bouncy and then Nova. Why am I missing? Am I above ground again? Something? Nova without Piers? Not that good. The dash level 3 doesn't work. It's only 2. Yeah, I changed a bunch. I didn't buy the dash level 3. I couldn't afford it. That's why. Okay. This would have been nice, but I can't. Ja. Okej, är den kall soppa? Ja. Piers would be great now, I think. Like, do you think we can afford... Yes! Can't afford anything more anyway, so... The thing Piers does with the Nova is that it really increases the... Like, I am hitting this guy, right? I don't think I was. I'm not sure about, like, if piercing worked either. Something smells pretty good. It's garlic based for sure. Like, can hit those guys, yes. It's just that their hitboxes don't scale, or there's something going on there. Oh wow, lots of money now. Level 3 Nova and then Piers and then heal on crit. Can we afford? Not quite. It feels a lot safer now that you can kind of dodge the enemy. Yeah. Like, why am I not hitting this guy? It looks like... Pause the game, check why that happens, and then I think I'm gonna cut the stream for a second. There's a lot of shit going on here. Arena, there should be one active enemy down here somewhere. Yeah. Where is this at? And like it is standing not on the ground at all. It's like higher up. This one still uses the character controller, and it doesn't push it to the ground. So if I push this to the ground, would I start to hit it again? Yes, that is the problem. They start to become not on the ground. These big ones really, yeah, it's a whole mess here with I'm not able to hit this guy because he's above ground somehow. I think it's because it kind of now that all the other enemies are circles, not capsules, it kind of pushes it on top. So that's the issue. Except this guy doesn't seem to want to be pushed down. Okay. Is that gonna disappear? Okay, level 3 rail. Sure. Faster movement speed, sure. Sacrifice once. Get cooldown speed, good. But really watch out for that a stray projectile there in the center. Now I feel like I've kind of outpaced the content a little bit. Do I dare get hit by that? Okay, it doesn't disappear just because I get hit. Oh, it's above things. Okay. Still annoying. Now I'm like max level movement speed. We got crit chance, crit damage, not interested. Bouncy is fun, but cooldown speed is more fun. So now it's like da-da-da, and then da-da-da. Yeah, can shoot a lot with the rail now. Okay, we got more of these. I think I can maybe just win by running the Nova now, except for these guys that don't kind of stay on the ground. More bounces. More reroll. Max bounce. It's stage 10, so this is the end. No, they're not on the ground. Oh, another one. No, I didn't make it. Shit. Knockback effect changed their Y position. I don't think so. I think the problem is that they're spawning sort of on top of each other, and before all the enemies were they were having like these capsule shapes, which means that they don't get stacked. We can actually change that back. If I just change the root enemy here. I thought I would surely win, but I didn't. So we have the sphere collider here. Let's get rid of that. Let's add a capsule collider instead. And make it like 2 tall and then move it up by 1. This just means that the enemies will not get like pushed up on top of that. But I'm gonna go eat, and then I'll be back in like an hour or so. So let's see who wants to be raided here. Drop you off at Spire's place. Because he's been very nice in raiding us when he has lunch, so I think that's good logic. So yeah, hugs and kisses everyone. I'll see you in a little bit.
Situation didn't match.